everybody. Welcome back to another episode of God Built This Podcast. I am your host, Maxine, and we're on episode 51. Okay, first, I want to address Kanye West because I know he listens to my podcast. Okay? Please stop. And I want to address also the Kanye West die-hard supporters who cannot see beneath the antics that he is pulling upon his fans, upon the Black community. Oftentimes when people put Jesus in the mix, all of a sudden, I don't really believe it. Now look, I don't know. He may be born again, right? He may be saved, he may have accepted Jesus Christ as his Lord and Savior, and that could very well be true. I watched Kim Kardashian as she was on The View, because I always watch The View, and she was a guest just a few episodes ago, and she talked about how he has found a lot of healing in his walk with Christ. And she specifically named Christ because there was obviously some kind of question on, what are they worshiping in his Kanye Sunday service? Like, what are they worshiping? Because so many times I'm hearing that there's no like preach or sermon or maybe Bible reading. And it's just him kind of manipulating, but specifically when it comes to the songs that he's singing, like the praise and worship part, it's him remixing a lot of modern day music, like R&B, secular music, into a gospel flair. So there was one song, there's a couple, but there was one song from Aaliyah, I don't wanna be without you, be without. So that song, and he just kind of flipped it to something about like, I don't want to be without Christ or something like that. Anyway, he's doing that with a lot of different secular music in his Sunday service, and it's getting a lot of popularity, is going viral. And here's the thing. I appreciate anyone who can find healing in something that is not harming anyone or themselves, right? I think that's fine. That's your choice. But I just don't believe it. I just don't buy it. I don't fall for it. Like, I think Kanye West is full of shit. Like, that's just it. At the end of the goddamn day, he's full of shit. And it started when he, just was super MAGA, when he was rocking the MAGA hat. What happened to that hat, huh? How come he's not wearing that during his Sunday service? I just don't understand him anymore. He was always complex, but now it's so blatant. I guess it's always been blatant, but I think it's more blatant for me that he's doing things to remain relevant, right? It's not him trying to really... And look, I'm just speaking from the outside in. I could very well be wrong and whatever it is. But I just think when you're selling merchandise about like Jesus and you're congregating people on top of a hill and there's no core message of the word implemented, or it's not authentic. It feels inauthentic to me, and it feels like another publicity scam. How else can I get the Black community to get back on my side? Oh, let's talk about Jesus. Let's say I'm born again, because Jesus is like a trigger for Black people, for the Black community. Many Black people are believers of Jesus Christ, are followers of Jesus Christ. So the same Black community who was kind of canceling Kanye West may now see him as, well, looks like he found Christ. I'm going to go ahead and get those Yeezys again and do what you want. But I just don't fucking fall for it. Like, I think he's full of shit. I think everything's a stunt. I think he's just looking at ways to be relevant and be in your face. And it's just bullshit to me. His new album is I saw a cover. I don't know if it's legit, but there was a new album cover that is going around of the title of it saying Jesus is King. And then you see Kanye West with his hands up, like in a praise, adoration, worship pose. And it's just like, nigga, sit down. Like, I don't fall for it. Just 2 albums ago, he was talking about being Jesus, which is synonymous to Jesus. And it's like, okay, you were looking at yourself as Christ, as the Christ in just a moment. And then now you're twisting it and saying, oh, Jesus is king. Jesus is this. I don't know. There are some people saying, well, God uses people. God could use anyone. God redeems anyone and yada, yada this. And I agree with that. Don't get me wrong. I've talked a lot about that on this podcast, about how God could use anyone, the unqualified, the not within the box type of person could still be used by God. I totally agree with that. I just don't believe Kanye West. That's just it. I don't believe him. I don't believe him for one bit. I think, maybe give it a year from now. Let's see where he's at with this. And next thing you know, he's doing something else that's hot. He's doing something else that's more eye-catching and more captivating for the public in order to garner more attention, garner money, garner popularity. And I'm just over it. I just think oftentimes in this society, we tend to forgive too quickly, or when we do forgive, we forget the things and the pattern of behavior done in the past, and we look at them totally new with new eyes, and that's not okay all the time. I understand the purpose in forgiving someone and forgetting, like forgive and forget, forget how you hurt me in the past. I'm gonna forgive you. You admitted to your flaw and you're moving forward. But with Kanye West, he's never shown any redeemable action. Like, he's never presented himself as, look, I don't know it all, and the way I was about Trump and his MAGA campaign, I totally dismissed the plight of Black people, and I should have did better. I should have known better. But like, not once have I heard that from Kanye West. Not once have I received that type of sentiment. It seems like he just doesn't see or hear the backlash he received for so long regarding his strong public support of Donald Trump. And now all of a sudden, now that he's talking about Jesus, we're supposed to just, let's think this new flip to I Don't Want to Be by Aaliyah that's about Christ now. Nigga, shut up. Your Jesus ass. I'm not here for it. Let's just cut the shit. Okay? So that's what I don't like. I think this whole Kanye West manipulation that's happening needs to awaken the public so we can recognize what the fuck is going on. Like, capitalism is truly the system that is hurting the people, that is hurting those who are disenfranchised, that is hurting those who cannot fend for themselves, who may not have the means, the network, etc., to move forward socially in life, to move forward financially in life. And you have someone like Kanye West who is continuously finding ways to mooch off of the Black community, to mooch off of people who are too lazy. That's pretty much what it is. Too lazy to see him for who he is. And let's look past the, you did a nice twist to I Don't Want to Be by Aaliyah into a Christ-like song. You did a nice twist to that. But let's look past that and see him for the pattern behavior that he has displayed over the years. And when we don't do that, we find ourselves being manipulated once again by Kanye West. Give me a word. Like, come on, can we just cut the shit out? I want to get into what I'm noticing a lot on Instagram. There's a lot of white women. Okay, let's just stop right there. Period. There's a lot of white women. Period. But there's a lot of white women on my feed, on my search, and some that I do follow because I just like the aesthetic of like how their Instagram looks like, and it's like, oh, just look at this. I'm a sucker for good pictures, so I'm sure the algorithm is definitely influenced by my likes. I get that. But I'm noticing to be a trend is that a lot of white women who happen to be curvy, who happen to have a lot of booty, and who may have a little tummy, but it's not like falling over, but it's a little tummy, right? A lot of them are on Instagram and they're like on this campaign about accepting your body as it is, embrace your curves. For so long now, I've been in the gym 4 to 6 hours a day. I'm like, first of all, that's a fucking sickness. Go get some help. But that's what I've been reading from some of these curvy white women on my Instagram, of them just going on and on about embracing your body and loving your body. And they're like, that's really what their Instagram is built on. That's how they have garnered so many followers and so much attention based off of that. And also they're posting pictures and videos of them dancing half naked, embracing their full figure body. And they're talking about how they were so made fun of. They were so isolated and not to made feel good about their body and the weight that they've gained. And these women are like not fat. Like they're so like they're regular curves. They're not fucking obese. They're not like, damn bitch, you need to stop eating type of fat. Like they're not fat. Like they just have curves. And I realized that I'm saying it from the perspective of being a black woman, okay? There are many black women who look like these white women, right? But they're not going around saying, embrace your curves. Nah, bitch, this is me. Like, what is it that I have to have a whole campaign about? And the fact that there are white women doing this is just so interesting to me, that black women been doing this. Black women have been curvy, have been in their body and loving their body. And for so long, black women have been demonized and sexualized for how their body naturally is. And you have these white women who are now like, oh, I could have a little tummy. Oh, a curvy booty is like sexy. Oh my gosh, you know what? I'm going to make a career off of this and garner so many followers. And that's what's happening. That's the win here. They're doing this and it's garnering so many people into their profile, into their businesses. It is just so hilarious to me that black women are this, period, right? Black women are naturally, we have the body. We have the body that white women are now accepting as acceptable. We have the body that white women are now profiting off of, creating businesses about. Yet black women, we should have been getting the money, right? We should have been getting the access because of our natural ass, dope ass body. And the society is so hilarious to me, because you have white women like feeling ashamed of the curves that they have, right? And then finally accepting it and loving their body. And they're going on this campaign about it. Yet black women, they don't have to fucking do that. We just are. Like, we don't have to go on this campaign. We don't have to convince anyone our body is amazing just as it is. The curves, the valleys, the peaks, everything about our body is enough. And when you see white women doing this, it's just interesting to me. Like, wow, we live in a society that really values the words out of white people, out of white women, white men. But when black women have been doing this, have been existing like this, have been looking like this, we're not given the same or any attention. We're not given any respect. We're not given any adoration for it. I don't know. That's just interesting to me. I just think, when can we finally, and we as in black women, I'm speaking from the perspective of being a black woman, when can we get the credit that we deserve? So I had a student interview me just a few days ago for her art project. She asked me if she could interview me, and she really sought me out because she loves my hair. She loves the locks that I wear, and that I wear so proudly. And so I was like, yeah, of course. Let's talk. Come on into my classroom. Let's have a conversation, right? Or let's just, you record me talk. That's really what it was. So she asked me 2 questions for her project. The first question was, what was it? Something about my hair. She was like, no, how do you view your hair as a black woman? Like, what is your perspective on your hair? What's your mindset on your hair as a black woman? And I went on to talk about how my hair is my strength, is my pride, is my love and my connection to my ancestors. It's my strength in who I am. It's the confidence that I wear. It's my crown. And it tells me that me and my natural sense is enough, that I don't have to manipulate, that I don't have to coerce it to be anything other than itself. And so I wear it with pride. And I was just going on and saying that. And the second question that she asked me was, what about, how do I feel? Like, what are my thoughts about white people and any other person who is not black who emulate black culture and the black lifestyle, or just black period, right? So I just went on to say how a lot of times people want to be black, but they don't want to be black, right? There are a lot of people who are not black ethnically, but they want to be black in every other way. But when it comes to being black in this world, in the politics of it all, in the police brutality of it all, in the sexism of it all, in the misogyny of it all, they don't want that black. But they want the black that is big booty, that is cornrows, that is good cooking if they tried, that is everything else that makes us who we are. They want the goodness of it, but they don't want the plight that we experience here in society. And so I just went on to talk about that. I just think that was interesting because when I was looking at these white women on my Instagram feed and looking at how they like, I'm not saying they're trying to be black, but I just think it's interesting that they have built such a strong platform. They have built and created a stream of income based off of looks and appearance that black women have already had. Like, black women have been looked like this. Black women have been walking in their essence, in this type of body, in this curve, in this valley, in this peak that we have in our body. Yet we weren't given, or we weren't able to create this stream of income for ourselves. Yet when a white woman is doing it, there is so much income. There is so much, oh my gosh, you are right, I should love my body. Bitch, if you don't sit your white ass down, shut the fuck up and stop shaking your ass in front of my face. Give me a black woman instead. I just think that's interesting. And, I want us to get to a place in society where we can give credit where it's due, where we can embrace our body and not be demonized and sexualized over it, I want to talk about, okay, so this guy who I just found out got engaged congrats, right? That's the political thing to say. This guy in particular, me and him used to have like a thing. Like we used to work together, and there was a strong connection, strong chemistry. We flirted heavily with each other. We kissed. Like it was like the beginning of something beautiful. That's how I could describe it. That's really what it was. It didn't start anything, right? But it was like, you know how you're in the beginning stages of, oh my God, she's cute or she's cute. And okay, I'm going to say this and let's see how he responds. And ooh, he responded well. And we're vibing off of each other. We're coming across each other and like bumping into each other and making jokes and having conversation and getting to know each other, and it's cute, and we're flirting and we're giving each other looks, and it wasn't no sexual type of energy. Like it was a pureness between me and him. It was a wow, I really enjoy my time with you. Like I don't find myself feeling annoyed when I'm with you. And it was vice versa for him. He said to me that was very interesting. He said to me that he typically gets along with everyone, right? Everyone gets along with him. Everyone typically likes him, but it's hard for him to find someone amongst that group of people who he actually reciprocates feelings for, who he actually feels like, wow, I like you too. Like, oh, I really vibe with you too. And he said that it was different with me. Like he really liked me, and all these like emotions that he felt, and it was just like a moment of it was the beginning of something that could have been, but it never was anything, and it kind of just ended. He just kind of switched up on me anyway. But I found out he got engaged. And for a while, like right after everything kind of ended between me and him, I was hurt, of course. I was upset. I was like, how can, you say you like someone and suddenly, you just switch up on them and act like you don't know anything? Or it was like a daze that kind of got popped. Like something happened and suddenly what I thought I knew, I don't know type of thing. It was just a weirdness that ended what could have been between me and him. And so he did explain to me that he often finds himself doing that with some women, how he'll get into this vibe with them and start liking them OD, and then suddenly doesn't anymore. And suddenly it's like something like popped up in his head, like a light bulb, and those feelings just kind of disappear. And it sucked to be another example of that for him in his life, and it sucked to be the receiving end, of course. But it was interesting when he said that, because as time went on and I moved here to Houston, I realized, oh, I do that in my pattern of dating. I realized that I do find myself, or even not even full on dating, it could be just simply flirting with someone. I find myself liking them OD in the beginning, and then it's like, okay, never mind. Like suddenly the way you chew is pissing me off and I can't anymore. Don't ever call me again. Like that's what I go through too. And I realize that has been something that I frequent in my pattern of dating. And so to be at the receiving end of that, I'm like, damn, that doesn't feel too nice, huh? It was like kind of karma it was fucked up, but whatever. So I was feeling that, and I was accepting of what it was. And then I but then I thought to myself, is he gay? He has done this so many times to plenty of women. Maybe he is unsure of his sexuality. Maybe he is unsure of what he wants, and he tried dick and liked it and didn't want to like it anymore. And so he was going through plenty of women to kind of get that feeling back. I really thought that. And I thought that because his pattern of his behavior with women. And there was a moment that I witnessed him kind of, I don't know, I don't want to sound like homophobic, but I'm sure I'm sure it's still gonna sound what it is, but let me tell you this. There was a moment when I witnessed him. First, we were on the dance floor. He was, we were, dancing and kind of talking, whatever. And there was a gay guy I noticed, a little, probably 2 or 3 feet away from us. And he was gay. He was gay. There's not no homophobia in that. That nigga was gay. And so I just happened to notice him for some reason. It felt like there was a spotlight on him. It felt like God wanted me to see this happening, right? So I noticed this gay guy, and then I just happened to look at the dude that I'm talking about. I happened to look at the guy. My dude, whatever, not mine. But yeah, I happened to look at him, and I noticed he looked at the gay guy, and then he looked at me, and then he had a face of disgust on his face, type of oof, I don't know why niggas are gay type of face, just a moment of disgust. And so I just kind of brushed it off, okay, why do you care? In my head I'm thinking, okay, why did he even care to give me that facial reaction? So, but I noticed, I want to say 7 minutes later, he happened to, you know how you're on a dance floor, and I don't know why I'm moving my arms right now, but you're on a dance floor and it's kind of crowded, and you kind of happen to move with the flow of the people, and then you find yourself suddenly not at the same spot anymore physically. So I noticed he was right next to me, but he somehow floated his way towards that same gay nigga. That same gay nigga who he was just looking at to me about with disgust in his face. And I noticed him and the gay guy, they were conversing and laughing about something. I don't think he knew him, because if he knew him, he would have said to me, oh man, there go my boy over there. Let me go say what up. He didn't do any of that. He floated his way to him, and they were conversing and not dancing with each other, but when you're just in the zone, you're not dancing, they're not dancing on each other, but they're moving their bodies type of way, and they were conversing. And I looked at that, I was like, huh. I just said, huh. I'm like, huh, okay, it's interesting. And I left it at that. But I thought it was interesting that God made it a point to make me see that. He made me see, when I tell you there were other people in the club at that night, it was a full house, but there was, I swear to God, there was a spotlight on top of first the gay guy, and once my dude went over towards him, there was a spotlight on both of them. And it was God wanted me to literally see, bitch, look at this, okay? Okay, I want you to see this, because some shit about to go down with him suddenly, acting different with you. And I want you to remember this moment. And so I think about all that retrospectively, and I was like, you know what? He's gay. He has to be gay. He has to be gay. That has to be something that God wanted me to see, because I don't believe in coincidences. I don't believe in happenstance. I don't believe in luck. I think everything is destined. I think everything is divinely timed. Everything is in divine order. And so I needed to see that. So for a while I was thinking, you know what? So after that heartbreak, when he kind of switched up on me and suddenly didn't feel the same way for me as I felt for him, I finally accepted, okay, you know what? He's probably gay. He's probably, not even probably. I really felt adamantly in that moment, once I was thinking over that event, I really felt like he was struggling with his sexuality. So I'm like, okay, you know what? This pain doesn't have to hurt too much anymore, because that nigga's gay. He's gay. Okay? Damn, a fine gay. But he's gay. So months, fast forward months later, I happened to, here's what the thing with me. I found myself wanting to see about him, wanting to see where he, where that nigga at, type of, just wanting to see what he's doing, what he's up to. So I go on Facebook and I notice all these pictures of, I can't wait to marry you, my fiance. And this person's a woman who he's engaged with. And I looked at it, I'm like, oh. Hey everyone, please support God Built This podcast by becoming a patron at patreon.com/GodBuiltThis. You can pledge to pay $5 or more monthly. Any amount is appreciated. Your money goes towards production costs of the show, and you'll have exclusive access to content that will only be released on patreon.com/GodBuiltThis. That is patreon.com/GodBuiltThis. Now let's get on with the show. Okay. Oh, like, then I'm thinking to myself, oh my gosh, all this time I'm thinking he's gay. Then I'm like, no, he doesn't really want, I don't know, all these things I'm thinking about. But then, look, I don't know, he could very well not be gay, right? Fine. But I know what I know. And I trust myself. I trust what God shows me. I trust how he shows me things. Like I said, I don't believe in coincidences. And there's a lot of gay black men who are married to women. Let me just say that. That's just it. There's a lot of gay black men who are married to motherfucking women and who are trying their best to suppress their sexuality. And although that is a personal journey and it's an internal journey that they have to come to face with, what I can say about that is just unfortunate, because you have this woman who is engaged to a man who is probably gay. And I feel like I have such a radar for this, because I could see underneath it all. I could see people's action. I could see people's just the way of being, and I could see, okay, you're attracted to this, you're attracted to that. And when you're putting on this illusion that you're not, and that you're this God-fearing, and like he was, he's super, well, you don't know, but he grew up in a religious household. He, has a religious mindset and Christian base and man of God, all these great things, all these qualities that I desired for a moment in time. All these qualities that I was like, wow, I really want my man to be like this. And I was really into him. And it just, look, I don't know if he's gay. But there's a strong feeling that he is. Okay? And I could be very well wrong. I don't know shit, right? Who knows shit? But I know shit. It was just a moment in time that I felt like, this is not coincidence. And I'm not surprised that he's engaged to this woman. I'm not. When I saw that image on Facebook and I saw his updated status, from single to engaged, and all of these things that were by the book, like he was everything I wanted at a particular moment in time. And what I mean by that was, when I was this like gung-ho Christian, when I was this love church, love the word, love serving the church, when I was that, I wanted someone who was akin to that. And he was. And so he was this like prototype that I wanted. And when me and him connected and we vibed off of each other, the humor that we had was so similar. And it was a strong connection. I was like, oh my gosh, this is my husband. This is it. And I think about my life right now, and I think about like, wow, had me and him, had he not flipped on me, right? he really had he pursued me, had me and him did this whole relationship thing and went for it and got married, I would not have had the opportunity that I have now to be who I am right now. I don't think I would have been given the agency to explore who I am, explore my spirituality, explore my mind, to be this self-explorer that I am. I don't believe that I would have had the opportunity, and I would have been stuck in that gun-ho Christian mindset. And I think to myself, like, wow, I'm blessed. Like, I'm grateful that it didn't work out. I'm grateful that I didn't get caught up in that. I'm grateful that things just kind of fell and it never continued from where it was, because I love myself so much more than I did yesterday. Like, every day is a growing journey in knowing who I am and loving myself. And I feel like when you're stuck in that mindset of being a certain type of Christian or being just this Christian box set, it's discouraged for you to even have questions. It's discouraged for you to go about the way you want to do things. And I would not be in the space that I am mentally, emotionally, spiritually, had me and him ever gotten farther than we needed to. So I just sit here and I think about, like, wow, you know what? Although this was what I wanted so badly at that time, that was at that time. And I think God knew that. God for sure, he knows the future. He knows the next step that he has for you. He knows the next step that you'll take. He knows what will happen years from now. And back then, I never, like, it was never like this big old plan to move and all these things. It was just like, I love being introspective. And when I'm not given the opportunity to grow within myself, I feel trapped. And so I think had me and him really moved forward, there would have been no advancement in myself. And that's the sadness that I don't want. And I talk about that a lot. I talk about how if you don't know yourself, then what the fuck? What are we doing? Like, what are we talking about? If you don't know who you are, if you don't know what you like, if you don't know how to speak up for yourself, if you don't know any of that, then what are we, like, what is it that we're doing? So I think had me and him ever evolved into anything more, me right now where I am would not have happened. So I sit here in gratitude. I sit here in acceptance of where my life is and where it could go. And I'm grateful. And I was thinking back, like, wow, like, there was really a period in time when I really wanted this. I really wanted him. I really was so attracted to him. And he's still fine. Like, that will never change. Nigga will be fine to this day. But I don't want, and I'm saying, like, I don't want, like I fucking have a choice. Nigga didn't want me. That's what it was. You just gotta grow from that. No, but my point is, when you kind of move forward in life and you see and you look back and you think, wow, that's not where I'm at anymore. And there's so much gratitude and just growth. It's growth in life. So there's that. But then that had me thinking, like, damn, what is it that is in the cards for me? What is it that is set out for me when it comes to love? I don't have the answer. Like, when I think about, like, career, when I think about personal growth, spirituality, I have a clearer mindset on what I want and what I'm working towards. But when it comes to my love life, I don't see anybody. I know last episode or 2 episodes ago, recently, I talked about this guy who, me and him kind of been on and off. He's from back home, and we kind of, we rekindled once again. And although there is that familiarity, I hate that word, but I gotta keep on saying it to get more comfortable with it. Although there is that familiarity between me and him, I still don't see anything more from us. Like, hello, that is it. What we have right now will just be that. Like, and that's just on God. Like, that's just it. Like, there is nothing more from him that I see. There is nothing more from him that I want. He can't, and I know that. Like, he cannot give me what I want. He cannot meet the standard that I desire for niggas to meet in my life. He just can't. And when I say that, and I know that sounds kind of like dismissive, like, what do you mean he just can't? He just, how niggas just can't? Yeah, that's him. And then it's a question, well, if you know that he can't, then why have that door open for him? I don't know. He asking a lot of questions. No, that's a good question. Here's the thing. Because we have that quote unquote history, because we have that comfort with each other, it's just like, you know what? Ain't no beef. You could be in my life. We could check in here and there. It ain't gotta be a thing. Like, it's not a big deal. I just wanted to make it clear that sometimes we say, oh, we're going to close the door on this person, and then we don't fully close the door. And I just like being transparent about that, as I usually am. So that's just me being transparent. But me saying that the door is open for him and it's kind of been a revolving thing with him, it doesn't mean that I have hopes for us to be more than whatever it has been between us for years now. Like, no, I know what it is. It ain't nothing. Like, it really isn't. Like, if a man of worthiness comes into my life, the other nigga who? Like, I'll be moving on. Like, but it's not like I'm moving on type of thing. It's not like I'm holding hope for this guy. I'm not giving him precedence. I'm not giving him any type of president type of treatment. Nah, nigga. Like, he's just there, right? He's just there. And if we ever come across each other, like, in closeness, because we're not proximity wise close to each other, but if me and him ever come across each other again in that closeness, then it's like, I'll spend my time with you type of thing. But it's never more than what it is. Like, it is what it is type of thing. So when I say whenever I do meet someone of worthiness, someone who I would like to date and see something with and build with, there's no like, oh, but what about, nah, nigga, that nigga ain't my man. Like, I'm gonna do whatever I fucking want to do. So I just want to make that clear. So yeah, there's that. Why did I talk about that? I forgot. But I think about, my love life. Whatever. I don't fucking know. I also feel like my body is a fucking temple. Like, that's it. My body is a temple. And this drought that I've had, let me call it a drought. That's funny. But this sex drought that I've been having, I've been growing in it. And I talk about a lot how, not because of the sex drought, but somehow within this sex drought, I've learned and have grown stronger in creating boundaries in my relationships. And it has opened me to seeing who's toxic in my life and who's not. And so amongst that growth and amongst the revelation that I'm experiencing in my sex drought, I'm also realizing that my body is a temple. It's a holy temple. My body is a privilege for niggas. Hello? That should be on a t-shirt. My body is a privilege for niggas. And not to toot myself up and not to be conceited, I'm really not. But I see niggas when they look at me. I see when they look me up and down. I see. So it's not just my physical. Well, it is my physical. But like, I know niggas see this. And when I feel more of the confidence and the self-esteem that I have for myself, when I feel that, I then realize that none of y'all deserve my body. And I'm saying that right now because I realized in the last episode when I talked about how, yeah, me and, you know, the old dude back home, you know, he might be the only person I'll give it up to for the time being, if that time comes between me and him. And I don't want to anymore. Like, I don't desire to anymore. Like, I have no interest in having sex with anybody. So not just a stranger, but even to the man in my life who have been on and off in my life for a couple of years now. And he's rekindled back into my life. I still don't see a desire in having sex with him. It's just, I don't want anybody inside of me. I don't want anybody feeling me and that close with me in that intimate setting who has not shown me that they are worthy of this body, that they are worthy of access to this temple that I carry, that I wear. Like, none of y'all are worthy. Show me who's the worthy one, because I don't see it. I don't feel it. It has not been an experience that I've had. And I don't want to keep on having a door open for niggas who, like, it's just, let me just explain it like this. When you really see yourself for the goddess that you are, there's a point in time when you just kind of put a pin into who could have access. And it becomes very limited to the point where it's no access. Nigga, not one of y'all could get inside of this. Not one of y'all. I'm sick of all of y'all. Like, not one of y'all have shown yourself to be who I deserve in my life. And not just on a friend level, but on a partner level. Not one of y'all have shown that. And that's not coming from a place of negativity or bitterness. It's just, no, you don't deserve me. You don't deserve my body. You don't deserve the essence of who I am. No. So you don't get access to that. Okay? So I just encourage y'all to just recognize who has access in your life. And by access, I'm just saying who has that intimate access in your life? Who is entering your vagina? Okay? Who is entering you, and reevaluate that. I want you to reconsider whoever that person is or people are and think, okay, look, you haven't really been showing yourself of worthiness. I'm gonna not give you access anymore. And you could always change your mind, right? You could always, you could be this person who is super free-spirited and have niggas up on you, left and right, and that's your choice, and I get it. I was totally there. And then realize, yeah, this doesn't serve me anymore. I'm not giving y'all access. I'm not inviting any old Joe Schmo in my home anymore because none of y'all niggas are worthy of me. So, no, like, you could change your mind. I remember moving here, and earlier on in my move to Houston, I was letting niggas in every weekend. Okay? I'm not playing. Like, whoa. Protected, of course. But what I'm saying is, like, it was so open. It was just like, oh, this was fine nigga over there. There was just a lot of fine niggas. And I was just overwhelmed. I was just overwhelmed with the fineness. You can't blame me. But no, after a while, I realized, like, yeah, none of y'all are worthy. Like, none of y'all have shown your worthiness enough to be given access to my holy temple. And there is pride in that. There is freedom in that, and like not opening the door for everybody and having that boundary. Something again with boundary. But there's also a sadness in that, because I don't know when or where I'm going to meet that person who will have that worthiness, or that person who will build themselves to have that worthiness, and what I mean by build themselves is sometimes you see someone from first impression and it's like, I don't know, and not on a physical point. Like, I'm not having anyone inside of me who I'm not physically attracted to. So that's number one. But what I mean is, sometimes people could rub you the wrong way because y'all had a poor conversation, and after a while you get to know each other, you guys build trust and friendship, and things move forward and blossom. That's what I mean by building worthiness and all of that. I don't know where he is, and I don't know when he'll come into my life. And I'm fine with that, but then it's also like, damn, like, so that means I'm not gonna have sex until then. Like, and that's just what it is. I'm not interested in having sex with anyone who I don't feel is worthy for my body. So let's see how long that's going to last. And I'm not saying it like, oh, I'm going to change my mind type of thing. But let's see how long that's going to last until I meet someone who is of worthiness to have access into my holy temple that is my body. Okay, I'm gonna end it right here. Thank you for tuning in. I'm out. See y'all next week. Thank you so much for tuning in to another episode of God Built This Podcast with your host, Maxine. Be sure to follow and subscribe on Apple Podcasts and SoundCloud, and also leave a comment. God bless.